Pop culture loves the trope of the loud extrovert and the quiet loner. We're taught to believe that these polarized personalities naturally gravitate toward one another, creating a balanced romantic harmony by the time the credits roll. In reality, this kind of pairing creates high-stakes psychological friction. When two people process information through entirely different cognitive filters, every conversation risks a total breakdown in understanding. We see this in Suzuki. She is hypervigilant, filtering every word and movement through the lens of public perception. To Suzuki, the world is a stage where every social cue must be managed. Then there is Tani. He operates almost entirely on literal facts, communicating with a directness that ignores social subtext in favor of objective truth. Pairing a mind that overanalyzes social optics with one that strictly follows literal logic creates a recipe for a psychological shipwreck. Within the social ecosystem of a high school, this gap feels dangerous. For Suzuki, the quiet pressure of the hallway only amplifies her internal panic. She is terrified that her naturally loud, explosive personality will overwhelm Tani and sink the relationship before it even begins. To compensate, she attempts to manually overwrite her personality. She turns to internet articles, trying to follow a scripted guide on how to perform the role of a normal girlfriend. She builds an exhausting list of rules. Be a good listener. Don't talk too much. Ask specific questions. Calculate your charm factor. She agonizes over these social metrics, while Tani remains completely unaware that these rules even exist. By focusing on this performance, Suzuki effectively isolates herself, turning their partnership into a solitary act of anxiety. Their first date takes place in a simple diner, a setting meant for relaxation that only heightens Suzuki's internal tension. This environment reveals how two brains process the exact same event. The data point here is eating a messy burger. Suzuki sees a social minefield, dissecting it to protect her public image. Tani makes a literal observation, concluding she is simply a tidy eater. The interaction highlights the distance between them. Suzuki is hyper-focused on the social impact of her actions, while Tani is focused strictly on the facts of what he sees. After the date, they discuss a movie they just watched, the first time they've had to analyze a shared experience. Tani's recall is clinical. He remembers the literal data points, like the exact names of the characters: Go, Knit, Boa, God, and Heat. However, this mastery of data leaves him blind to the story's emotional resonance. He has the facts, but he doesn't understand the why behind the scenes. Suzuki's memory works in the opposite direction. She forgot the character names almost instantly, but she effortlessly absorbed the visual subtext. She noticed how a stoic character revealed their soft side by adding sugar to black coffee. She saw the symbolic weight in the number of plates set on a table, signifying a family united. Tani admits that without Suzuki's perspective, he would have walked away from the movie without understanding what he had actually seen. Their conflicting perspectives begin to look less like a barrier and more like a way to fill in each other's blind spots. As the day ends, the focus shifts to Tani's final assessment of their time together. He makes a candid confession. The shops they visited and the movie they chose were entirely outside his usual interests. Despite that, he enjoyed the experience. To Tani, the activities were secondary. The day was valuable because Suzuki's perspective gave the events a meaning he couldn't have found on his own. When these two distinct ways of seeing the world overlap, they create a complete 360-degree view of an experience. A relationship between opposites allows each person to outsource their cognitive blind spots to their partner, gaining access to a depth of field they couldn't achieve alone. Tani's honesty finally breaks through Suzuki's anxiety. She realizes the normal girlfriend scripts she's been following are irrelevant. Performing normalcy is a waste of energy when your partner values your perspective exactly as it is. Tani's unwavering literal presence acts as an anchor, providing a safe point of contact that allows Suzuki to finally stop managing her personality. She begins to embrace her hypersocial, explosive nature as a strength rather than a liability. Pairing these opposites creates a catalyst for authenticity, where the friction of the difference eventually burns away the need for performance, leaving only the truest versions of themselves.